Why buy a Honda 450 RL when it's not the lightest and it's not the most powerful dual sport in its class? I'm breaking it all down. First off, the Honda 450 RL, it's a race dirt bike that's street legal from the factory that you can ride anywhere. 50 state legal, 450cc, 4-stroke, water cooled. It comes from the Honda motocross race bike, the 450R. Why buy the 450 RL when it's not the lightest or the most powerful dual sport? Well, first off, power. Let's talk about the power. Engines come corked up for emission regulation on road use and to last longer for dual sport use. Adding an ECU and exhaust can uncork these premium dual sports. The owner's manuals say that it's 42 horsepower, but in the US market, it's more like 38 horsepower stock from dyno testing that I've seen. With a Get SX1 ECU from Moto and an aftermarket exhaust, the power goes up to 45 horsepower. Adding a Vortex ECU will get you up to 44 horsepower. But the Moto Get SX1 ECU has more power. You can check out my ECU shootout video linked below. The KTM 500 EXC is 40 horsepower stock from the factory in the US market. But the KTM is corked up even more. So when you uncork the KTM, there's more power to be found over the Honda. The KTM will unleash more power. The 2023 Honda 450R that's used for competition racing makes 52 horsepower from the factory. And in comparison, the 2023 Honda CRF 300L makes 22 horsepower. So if you're a beginner or a slow rider, the Honda 300L is a good choice. A 450 power is fine stock, and it does not have to have an aftermarket ECU. 38 horsepower is enough power for most of us, the average buyer. So on the low end, you have a 22 horsepower from a bike like the 300L, and then 38 for a stock 450 RL. 45 with a Taco Get East SX1 ECU, and then the race bikes from Honda are 52 horsepower. So a 450 RL with a Get ECU is twice the horsepower of a Honda 300L. The reality is the Honda CRF 450 RL has plenty of power, stock or uncorked. My 450 RL top speed with the Moto Get SX1 ECU is 100 miles per hour, and that's fast enough for a dual sport. Now let's talk about the other factor, weight. The Honda is not the lightest dual sport in its class. The stock 450 RL weighs in at 290 pounds. A lot of the extra weight on the 450 is for meeting road regulation and sound dampening. The Honda CRF 450X is the same bike as the 450 RL, but it's the trail version without all the street legal features, and it weighs in at 275 pounds with a 2-gallon fuel tank. So that's 15 pounds of street component weight added to the 450 RL. So the 450 RL has a lot of weight reduction possibilities. Plastic engine covers to reduce noise are removed easily. The swing arm is filled with foam to reduce road noise to meet road regulations. The stock 17-pound exhaust has a catalytic converter in it to help meet road regulations. So switching to an aftermarket exhaust saves 11 pounds. The Honda 450 RL also has a longer metal subframe, allowing to add minimal luggage, which is beneficial for adventure riding, but it does add more weight. I personally removed all these things besides the swing arm and the subframe. I've added a 3-gallon tank, Ruby Moto LED lights, and other add-on accessories. After all the changes, my Honda weighs in right at 300 pounds, full of 3 gallons of fuel. The KTM 350 and 500 EXC weigh in at around 255 pounds stock. My KTM 350 that I had That setup, which was pretty much the same setup as my Honda with the 3-gallon tank, weighed in at 275 pounds full of fuel. So we're talking about a 25-pound difference from the Honda to a KTM with the same setup, which is the lightest premium dual sport on the market, with pretty much the same setup. It is possible to reduce weight even more on the Honda, but I don't think replacing the swing arm is worth it, and I want 3 gallons of fuel, plus I want more light. And just for comparison, a Honda CRF 300L weighs in at over 310 pounds. So the 450 RL is still lighter than most dual sports out there. The extra weight of the Honda 450 doesn't make it as good at hard enduro or single track like the lighter dual sports do. But the weight makes it better on the road and more stable at higher speeds. The Honda 450 RL also has more rake on the front to make it more stable at higher speeds as well. Even the Honda 450X, the exact same bike but a trail version, has just a little bit less rake than the RL does. The Honda 450 RL make great supermotos because of these characteristics and the Honda design. It's a big bore, but the engine stroke is not as long as other premium dual sports, so it vibrates a little less. The Honda 450 RL is one of the smoothest riding premium dual sports on the market. And again, it's because of the Honda choices that they made in the design. The other huge factor is why a 450 is worth buying is the suspension. It's one of the best stock suspensions you can buy on a dual sport. 49mm inverted telescopic Showa coil spring forks, fully adjustable. It's got a wide adjustability from super stiff for motocross track use to super soft for hard enduro and trail riding. The suspension really is amazing that with one bike you could go to the motocross track one day and ride trails the next day, all with the same stock suspension. The Honda 450 is good at adventure riding because of these Honda characteristics and design. It's just a quality premium suspension. Let's talk about maintenance. A lot of people think the maintenance is unreal on these bikes, but let me break it down. With the oil capacity of 1.22 US quarts, Honda recommends oil changes every 600 miles. 2,000 miles is capable with good oil like 7100 Moto. There's been extensive testing on this, and I'm confident myself doing 2,000 miles or more if I needed to after my experience using 7100 Moto oil. Plus, the Honda is easy to change the oil on anyway. Increasing oil capacity also helps with this, longer maintenance intervals. I've added a bigger clutch cover to add oil capacity to over 1.5 US quarts. It adds more oil and allows more flow to keep the engine cooler. Honda wants valve checks every 1,800 miles. I know people have not had the valves moved on these Hondas after 200 hours. So I don't think Honda valves move very much. It's wise to check them, but I don't think it's needed as much as Honda recommends. Honda has these maintenance recommendations to cover their butt on warranty claims and listed them on the safe side. The Honda 450 RL is capable of doing 2,000 miles with good oil like 7100 Moto oil. I got to address the one problem that a Honda CRF 450 RL has, and that is the throttle response is subpar and the bike stalls easily and flames out at times in the stock configuration that's set up to meet US road regulations. Some people say that it gets better after time and when the engine is broken in, but you will find lots of people selling these bikes fast on the used market just after buying them new. I think it's because of this problem and most people don't like it. So here's the fix for it. For around $160, you can fix this problem by adding the Steahly flywheel weight. The Steahly flywheel weight adds 7 ounces of weight to the flywheel. This helps reduce engine stalling. It makes a smoother, more controlled and tractable power delivery. It makes the Honda a better trail and enduro bike. Doesn't make it a good one, but it makes it better. And it sucks that you have to add this, and it's not an easy install, but it's the only must add or / necessary fix for the Honda 450RO. All the other mods are just icing on top. In summary, why should you buy a Honda 450RO? It's a premium dirt bike offering from Japan that's dual sport motorcycle for just $10,000. It's not the lightest dual sport in the market, but it's close. It's not the most powerful dual sport on the market, but it's got plenty of power. It's basically $2,200 less for 25 pounds more of weight and about 5 horsepower less than the class leading premium dual sport. An aftermarket ECU and exhaust is not needed, but it makes for a better riding experience. The Honda 450RO is a little better at road use and adventure riding than other dual sports because of the weight. These 450RLs, they make pretty awesome builds for customization to suit a lot of needs. And you're also getting that known Honda reliability and dealer network. It's that Honda peace of mind. And for me, there's something nostalgic about owning a Honda. I grew up riding on a Honda. I'm sure a lot of us did. And I think that's why it feels so good to ride a Honda now. I really like my Honda 450RL. I'm just now getting it set up for myself, and I won't be selling it anytime soon. I hope this helps you decide if a Honda 450RL is right for you. Any questions, comment below and I'll try to answer them. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I will catch you later.